All right. The topic of today's video, slavery. No, it's not that. Am I held back by my community? And this is a comment that I saw here. And this is a similar type of comment that I see a lot where people say, oh, you're so underrated, bro. I just found you. I can't believe you only have this much views, this many subs, blah, blah, blah. And this is a video from the video. And by the way, we're doing a community poll. It's a little bit too late to get your votes in, but this is how we pick, the newest shows. So the most liked comments here is going to get polled with index 3. But we got a comment here and it says, free my boy Koff from this mid-range, mid-recommendation trap that's keeping him under 50k subs, crying emoji. Sure, you crawl out of your caves for this single poll, but none of you stick around for the actual reactions. So he ends up having to drop these series. That's just factually wrong. Okay. No. That's not how this works. These community series are literally the life of the channel. To prove to you, again, if you look at the shows that we actually drop, the only shows that I drop are random seasonal weeklies where I'm fishing for content. Fishing as in, I don't know if my community wants it, but I'm going to give it to them to see what the reactions are going to be. Do you know what kind of animes happen from these type of polls? Granblue. Notice the viewership difference in Granblue here versus, let's say, even here, right? Granblue here versus this one right over here, which is Shiunji Family. You'll notice that there is a stark difference in viewership because these polls are what my community asked me to do, and I deliver onto that. And that's why they perform so well in contrast to a lot of these other shows that do really bad. In terms of Granblue viewership, it's still fucking annoying, and there's another level of nerf that I have, and it's regarding the shadow ban. If you don't know about the shadow ban, basically, right over here, right? At the 3rd day mark, boom. It's always like that, man. When you're shadow banned, all your viewership is backloaded until the 3rd day and beyond, and finally these people are finding the videos. So it's nice that Granblue is going to be one of those videos that hits over 10k, like the other community series in the beginning, and it's going to slowly fall down like Psyche K, but that's it. So this is just wrong, right? These polls are designed for people who have stuck around the channels to watch me for what they want to see rather than random seasonal animes that I am watching. So let's just get that cleared out. Give him some actual high profile series that people actually know about for once, so he gets a bigger audience. This is a common misconception that a lot of people have because they see other popular channels. Let's bring up some channel like, I don't know, like Studio Gek, for example, right? If you look at channels like this, you'll notice that they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and they pop off with very, very mainstream, approachable big shows like Attack on Titan, right? Your boy Roshi, I think, is a bit different recently because they're obviously doing a lot more variety, but they've been around the game for a long time. But I think a lot of people, and shout outs to Studio Gek, and I love these guys. I don't see their content, but they're in the same reaction space and I see the work that they're putting in. But there's a lot of people that think, oh, he just needs to react to Attack on Titan. He just needs to react to Naruto. He just needs to react to these popular series and suddenly it's going to do well. It doesn't work like that on YouTube. It doesn't work like that on YouTube. It does work like that on YouTube if this is how you launch your channel. In the beginning, it's all about for the algorithm to find that audience. And one of the fastest ways that you can grow is to have a very careful strategy where immediately you're into that mainstream audience. What I'm doing is fundamentally different, right? What I'm doing here is fundamentally different. How? Because I didn't know this game, bro. Even though I know about the game a lot now, I didn't know back in the day. Because all I would do is fuck up any chance of having that initial impact. And I farmed random ass shows, random seasonal weeklies that I think a lot of, channels fall into the trap of. Because they think, oh, I just need to cast the biggest net possible and cover these series and people will find me through the search engine. That's not how it works. People who show up for this anime won't watch this anime. People who watch this anime won't watch this anime, and so on and so on and so on. And one of the worst things you can do in the beginning is to fragment your audience and basically lose any type of momentum. I can't even get into the mainstream audience, and with the limited audience pool that I have, I'm already fucking it up by diversifying and basically dividing them. Not a good idea. You need to stay onto one thing, and that's why the second channel exists, right? That's why the second channel exists as an experiment to basically do, you know, let's just start with all of Beyblade or all of Ben 10, and you see how well the second channel is doing in terms of average viewership. This is how you run a channel, right? But a lot of people think that like, oh, I'm held back because people just need to make me react to, you know, big shows. That's not the case. It can be possible, but right now in my main channel, it is impossible. In fact, the best thing that I can do for myself is to do these polls where I'm working with my community and constantly talking to them. And eventually, like, let me try to bring you a picture actually that may describe this. We always love charts here, man. So let me give you a graph of basically what I think is happening for big reaction channels, right? Let's talk about, like, I don't know, Nicholas Light, Studio Gek, or even FlexiJ Anime. In the beginning, because they knew exactly what they're doing, they have a huge rise and they keep growing like that, right? They're able to immediately get into this part because they identified what mainstream audience they want to farm, they got in, and they deliver consistently. For me, I literally had nothing. I got nothing, and I think a lot of people fall into this trap. There's a lot of reaction channels out there that only average like 50 views, 100 views per video, even though they've been doing it for like 5+ years. And you'll notice that the common trend in those channels is the fact that they just cover any random ass seasonal shows. They have no sense of community. Their audience is fragmented and they can never grow because the algorithm sees that with every video they push out, it doesn't appeal to most of their community. But after struggling for a long time like that, I've eventually been growing and growing and growing with farming little shows, slowly but surely, and a momentum is building up where even though I fucked up everything in the beginning, I'm building up a sizable community. And even if random variety seasonal animes may do bad, the fact that community series can get this kind of viewership, like, you know, Grand Blue right now, or even before the Psyche K reactions, right? It's a very good sign. So think of it as, I just fucked up the early game. I fucked up the early game, and it's going to take a while for me to scale into the late game. But I truly do believe that I'm going to outlast many of these reaction channels. And that's not me saying these other channels that's doing well right now are going to be washed or they're going to fall off. It's that the way that I design my channel, due to the way that I'm trying to become a variety seasonal channel while having a strong community, I am a very late scale gaming. If you're talking in terms of video games and MOBA, maybe you've heard of early scaling characters versus late game characters. I believe that I'm a late scaling character, and right now we're making some big moves. Right now, it just feels like the same few viewers are trapping him in a little bubble and using him as an exclusive reactor for their personal favorites. Let the man grow already. Again, it's not the case, bro. There's no one holding me hostage. If anything, I'm the one holding them hostage, right? These polls, again, are things that you like, because like people like this don't really understand. I'm not trying to like bully this guy, but he doesn't understand how YouTube works. YouTube is all about working with the audience that you have. He thinks that suddenly I'm just gonna fish around and suddenly magically a huge audience is just gonna fall on my lap. It doesn't just work like that. You have to work with what you got in front of you, and that's what these polls are. Ka is one of the rare few that actually uses his head when reacting. He should be in the 100k plus already instead of getting stuck in the 10k reacting to either niche series hardly anyone knows about or semi-popular series that have quite fan bases but don't actually show for reactions. There is a bit of truth in this in how I fucked up, you know, my momentum, right? I think shoutouts to FlexiJ Anime. I think that she is just killing it in the way that she has. Obviously, her reactions are great in itself, but not only that, I talk about the content strategy. And again, if you look at it, only Naruto in the beginning. This is a channel that's been existed for about a year or two now. It has 7 times less, 8 times less my videos, yet she is on the road to 200k subs because this is what it means to do this, right? She identified and she knew about the game. I don't know who told her. I don't know how she learned about it. Maybe she has networking and some sort of mentorship, or maybe it's just blind luck. But the fact that she didn't fall into the newbie trap of doing all seasonal content and fuck up like me shows that you can have this kind of growth if you have good content and if your content strategy is right? Let's see. I mean, with the third channel coming up, covering Battle Shonen, and that's kind of the idea too, right? I am thinking about doing third channel content. Don't ask me when it's going to happen, but it might happen in the future where we're going to literally just do Battle Shonens like that. Like, I see how well the second channel has grown, and I realize that I think that the only way that I'm going to be able to farm out like Hunter x Hunter, Black Clover, Fairy Tail, and maybe even Boruto or those other big shonen shows, MHA even, is through a third channel. It's never going to happen in my main channel, right? But sub count won't matter. Sure, it's more exposure, but the recommendations do the job. Building a community with middle-sized ones isn't bad, I would say. Absolutely. Slime Warrior is right. Like, our channel is so unique in the fact that no, even though I fucked up so hard in the beginning in how I made my content, the content strategy, but I've been brute forcing it, and a semblance of community has formed where we can obviously farm seasonal variety content while at the same time get random shows like Psyche K and other shows on board too. It shows that there is great momentum happening, right? There is huge potential here. It's obviously not on the same scale as the other big reactors, but right now what we're doing, it's pretty fucking good. If we compare relatively between like the main and the second channel compared, I'm averaging 2 million views per month right now. That's pretty damn good. If you do a mathematical ratio of subscribers to, you know, monthly viewership ratio and get some sort of coefficient, I think that I am really doing well. Obviously because that I pump out so much content in itself, but also I have a content strategy that allows me to pump out, you know, content like this. Not even just like anime reactions, but commentary videos covering drama around the community that we exist in, covering various topics, right? We got a really good thing happening in my main channel, so I'm really happy with the state of my main channel, even if it doesn't seem like it's much at all compared to obviously the other big creators, right? My main concern, right, is that this channel is its root and the others are just branches. What does that mean? If this channel stagnates because of these underground semi-popular with dead community series, again, there is no dead community series. I think that you're fundamentally wrong in how you're watching this. The highest viewed videos in my channel are community series. The shows that do bad are random fucking seasonal weeklies that I check out on a whim and try to fish for viewers, but it turns out no one asked for it. That's why they do bad, and that's why we drop it, right? Listen, community series, being able to average, like, again, where is this shit, bro? Grand Blue is doing this well. Like, let's just check out some community series recently, right? Let's check out, what's it called? Psyche K. How well does Psyche K do, bro? Obviously, at the tail end, it's going to start to fall off more and more. But you'll notice that it's consistently been averaging like 7K in the past, right? 7K, 6K. Of course, every show is going to start to dwindle down. But the fact that we were averaging the 10Ks, the 7Ks consistently like this is the power of community series. What was even before Psyche K, actually? What do we have? I mean, we were kind of juggling a lot of different bullshit. I think that Slime 300 was also a thing. That show fell off really fucking hard though in season 3. But in the beginning of right, of Slime, right? Look at this shit. 15K, 4K, 8K, 7K, 5K, 4K. It's really sad what happened to this show as soon as season 2 happened. But the fact that community series like this, that it did this well, it's fantastic. And I could keep going over and over again. But like, I think there is a huge misunderstanding in how I'm wasting my time with community series. No, community series is the way that I'm growing. If you've actually seen a performance review for my channel, you would see that community series is the only reason why my channel has been growing. And focusing on random seasonal bullshit is not the way that you do it, right? His new viewers from the YouTube side will just end up being tourists. No, you dummy. The new viewers literally become community members by having polls like this for them to engage with. Again, it's a whole system where you need to convert people. I'm speaking, you know, like a fucking repeating a record at this point, but like people just genuinely don't understand how this shit works, huh? So I'll have to fucking explain this shit again. Like, what you don't understand is in the beginning, this is how it works, right? You got 3 separate circles, and these separate circles are like different like loyal audiences. And in the beginning, they're gonna be like tourists, right? And how do tourists find my channel? Random trends, solo leveling, right? Big shows, big popular seasonal animes, right? That's how they come in. But people don't realize that if you don't give them a reason to stick around, you need to convert them, right? You need to convert them into community members, right? These people here are suddenly aware that I have polls like this where I ask them what I want to watch and we base their interests off of that. This is how you create a community. But if you don't do this step, and eventually, right, they can become even like more hardcore. You get the idea, right? But if you don't do this part, and if you don't do the community aspect of it, you become a dead channel. Everything that this random commentary, they go out, right? They come in, they go out. This is literally the state of most reaction channels. They farm random seasonal animes. They check out solo leveling, it pops off. They do nothing to retain them. And by the time the season ends, they realize, where's my viewers going? Why don't the viewers give me, my views anymore? Why does the YouTube algorithm hate me? The algorithm doesn't hate you. It's just that you didn't realize what kind of viewers were even coming in the first place. You never had this part of the system where you're trying to convert people, right? You need to make them into community members. And that's what these videos are. That's what these fucking polls are. So like this whole idea is so wrong. It is just so wrong in every level. And it just triggers me because of how much I care about this content strategy. It doesn't mean he's a bad person though. Let's see. Although it could be just a baseless concern and maybe it doesn't happen, but even now, if you go to his playlist for his channel, it's a mess where any known series will get drowned out by the ocean of irrelevant garbage that most people, who might not necessarily be shown in monkeys, because not everyone who carries garbage wouldn't even watch themselves. What the hell does that even fucking mean? I do kind of agree in the way that the playlists are not ordered in the best way possible because of the sheer volume of content that we cover. Right? It may be hard, but I think that if you can't do a simple search into this playlist function and find what you want, that's a skill issue in itself. But I do kind of agree with the playlist being, unordered. I get that he is engagement farming. That's an obvious limit, which is maximum addressable audience he currently has. Obviously, if a niche series is 700K, he isn't going to get 1/10,000 of that number. Channel, I don't know what the fuck you're yapping about. This guy just talks a lot about YouTube algorithm in the most pretentious way without even understanding how the shit works, huh? So unless something is done to increase the rate at which he gets new loyal viewers from YouTube, again, that's literally the entire, like, the most frustrating thing is how this guy's concerns are literally being addressed with this fucking video in the poll, and he just doesn't understand. That's fucking crazy, bro. Like random seasonals is the reason it's shit getting dropped. Polls are how we retain people. This guy is thinking these polls are why my channel is dying and that I need to just randomly fish for Attack on Titan reactions. That's not how it fucking works, bro. There might be a good chance that he stagnates his channel and becomes dependent on the second and third channel, which is not, again, this is like some parasocial obsession levels of schizo fucking, commenting here. Although they might still decrease some fans, simultaneously engagement farming. What does engagement farming even mean, bro? What are you even talking about? Viewer farming could possibly be a breakthrough idea and popular, well-produced. Literally, in conclusion, my comments are less about telling Kyle what to do and more about informing the viewer that like this content and want more of it to give a better recommendation. That, no. You're fucking stupid. Better recommendation in the game of YouTube means what my audience wants. If my audience wants to watch an anime you've never heard about, I will farm that anime out and it's gonna do well on my channel. Just because you don't know it and just because you don't think that this has the same potential of fucking Attack on Titan or the other fucking big channels doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You have no understanding of how the algorithm works. You've probably never even watched a single one of my fucking performance playlist videos. If you genuinely are a fan of my channel and the way that I talk about content, you probably have checked out a tier list video or even like the performance review series where I go in depth about how important it is to check out trends, to fish for trends, to get new tourists coming in, and then to convert them into community members for retention to happen with these polls. Everything that's been mentioned here is just so fucking wrong, so delusional. It's triggering me. I'm reading brain cells, reading these retardation, but at the same time, he doesn't know, and he's not doing it because he hates me or he's trying to troll me. He's just ignorant but very confident. This is a Yamauchi syndrome from Classroom of the Elite. What else is going on? I think we're wasting time right now. I think we're wasting time right now, bro. Just because you don't agree with the recommendations that's happening in this poll doesn't mean that it's gonna kill my channel. Community series have always been the bread and butter and the most viewership in my channel. You don't know what you're talking about. I am not held hostage by my fans. My community is honestly held hostage by me. We have a great system going. We have a lot of momentum going. It's just so frustrating to hear people like this talk, bro. TLDR, schizo fans that don't know what the algorithm is trying to backseat me and how to do my content and thinks that doing poll recommendation like this is going to kill my channel. When at the end of the day, again, remember, there's two components. Seasonal content of very popular shows like ReZero, Mushoku Tensei, Solo Leveling, whatever, right? That exists to tap into the tourist for them to come to my channel. And once they come to my channel, while they're around, polls like this exist for me to engage with them, to tell them this is how we do things in the channel, for them to become community members. Retention happens, and that's how you build a community, and that's how you scale up the YouTube channel. This guy has no fucking idea what he's talking about. I do agree with the sentiment that I am heavily underrated and nerfed right now in terms of content. Listen, I don't want to stoke my ego too much, but holy shit, I see the quality and the quantity of content that I'm pumping out, and compared to some other people, it is fucking shameless how I'm getting robbed right now, but none of that shit matters. All I gotta do is put my head down and just grind. I have a working formula, and that's it. Just let me do my job.